Salam na or salam. Achalim Amarenya. I'm sorry, I can't really speak Amharic, only know a couple phrases. So this video is going to be part 2, speaking on my experience with Ethiopian Airlines. This one's going to be a little bit quicker because we're just going over my overnight stay at the hotel with them and going through the airport and back to America. Let's get right into it. And we're gonna start from me leaving Abuja, going back to Addis. Now, it was a 5-hour flight from city to city, and by the time I landed back in Ethiopia, it was nighttime. The only thing that I can remember is going through security and then going through customs, I believe, and I didn't have anything to check, so once that was done, which was not really long to what I remember, they had a shuttle waiting outside the airport to pick us up and take us to the hotel. The shuttle was like a big white van with the hotel name and stuff on there. It sort of was a small group of us, so I wasn't packed or crammed in there or nothing. And the drive from the airport to the hotel was 5 to 10 minutes, I believe. It was nighttime, mind you, so I really didn't see as much as I would have liked, but I do remember when I stepped outside and finally went into the parking lot of the airport. The flora and fauna of Ethiopia sort of reminded me of Oakland, California. Big palm trees, but sort of arid, and at the same time, it wasn't really hot. It was pretty mild. Now, when we were going through the city in the van at night, I noticed there was a lot of developments, a lot of lights. Like I said in the previous video, it reminded me a lot of Washington, D.C. The buildings are sort of close together, so it's not really spread out or nothing. And the roads are crammed with cars. There are so many cars in Addis. There's a lot of people walking in the streets, up the roads. It's very busy. Once we got to the hotel, they checked us in. They were business nice, of course. Let us know that dinner would be served downstairs, helped us with our room, and they spoke English at the hotel. The hotel, I believe, was Sky Hotel, Skylight, something like that. So I went upstairs, checked out the room. It was a very standard, basic room, but clean. I was able to put my stuff up, and then I came back downstairs for dinner. There was like a young man in the hotel that was very helpful. He made sure that I didn't get lost, that I knew where I was going. He was one of the employees, so I really thank him for that. When I went down for dinner, to be honest, I don't remember what I ate. It was so long ago, but I remember the food was edible. I don't think I ate that much, but they had options. It was like a buffet setup. And then downstairs also as well, they have some local shops set up. So if you want to buy traditional jewelry, traditional clothes, trinkets, traveler stuff, you can buy it. When I went back upstairs to my room, I turned on the TV and they had Ethiopian music videos. So it reminded me of like the 90s version of MTV, but Ethiopian music videos. I absolutely loved it. I kept it on that channel and I didn't change it. They had a balcony in the room which was my favorite thing. So I went out on the balcony and just listened to the people, the locals outside talk. Something like that is very calming to me because I'm from Chicago, so I'm from a very large city. I'm used to hearing a lot of noise, sirens, cars, people outside talking. It does not keep me up. I'm actually the type of person that need background noise to go to sleep. And I think people from large cities can relate. I feel like most of us, we can't sleep in complete quietness. And I don't know if anybody else get this, but if I sleep in pitch black with no sounds going on, I be having like a bad dream. Anyways, I sat out on the porch and just listened to the people talk. Inhaled the air, inhaled the environment, just chilled. Then I went to bed, woke up next morning. They told us it was breakfast downstairs. When I finally got there, I was so happy they had pancakes and coffee because when I was in Nigeria, I couldn't get no pancakes. And the coffee in Nigeria is mostly instant coffee. And I'm a coffee lover, so when I got to Ethiopia, that was a dream come true. I finally got my coffee and my pancakes. And then I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I think I ate some salad. Now, I'm not gonna say that contributed to my traveler's diarrhea when I got back to the States, but I do know if you come from like a first world country and you leave and go somewhere else, generally you're not supposed to eat the salads overseas because there's no way to guarantee if they wash the salad with bottled water or if they use the local water. And if they use the local water, that would make you sick. And it's not because they're dirty, it's because your body is not used to the pathogens and the germs that's in the local water. Your body has immunity to the germs and the pathogens of wherever you were born and raised in the country that you live in. So that's just that. I got bit by a mosquito for the first time in Africa when I was in Ethiopia. Nothing happened. After breakfast, we took the shuttle back to the airport. I took a couple low quality videos because at the time, I just wasn't the type to really record. I just like to experience. But I took a few short clips of going back to the airport, getting back to TSA, and then I had an interesting experience with the TSA. The guy was yelling at me in Amharic to go through, I guess, because it was busy, so they were just trying to get people through. And I didn't understand what he said. Mind you, at the time, I had on the abaya and a hijab, so I was dressed like one of the locals. So he yelled at me again to go through, I guess. I still didn't understand and I stood there. So he stopped and he switched to English and he was like, "You don't speak Amharic?" I'm like, "No." He was like, "Why don't you speak your mother tongue?" I'm like, "Because I'm not Ethiopian." He was so confused, but he just wavered me on through. And that was that. Once I got back on the airplane, however, it was this older guy, I swear, like, he felt like my granddaddy. He sat down, he started speaking Amharic to me. I'm like, "I don't speak it, I'm not from Ethiopia." So he was like, "But your eyes." So I thought that was so cute. I ended up talking to him the whole 13-hour flight. We didn't have no Wi-Fi, by the way. And then the last funny thing that happened was a flight attendant walked past and she started speaking to me in Amharic. So the old man next to me started cracking up laughing because he was like, "I just did the same thing and now she did it." So it was just so cute. Anytime I go somewhere and the locals mistake me as one of their own, I love it. It makes me feel warm inside. It makes me happy to know that I can blend in the country. So, you know, I really appreciate that old man because like I said, he felt like a grandfather. I was able to talk to him about anything under the sun during the whole flight. It just really made me feel at home in Ethiopia. And, you know, certain experiences like that, you just take with you forever. And coming from the US, it's a very just cold like culture. You will have to go like deep in the hood with the black people to gain those type of homely experiences, or you would have to find pockets of culture where people still carry like that traditional warmth on them to get that in the US. So when I went to Africa and I experienced all that warmth and feeling like family, that's something I'm gonna take with me forever. But my experience overnight with Ethiopian Airlines, to sum it up, I felt safe, I was fed, my room was clean. I was surprised because my room had a balcony, so I appreciated that. And I had a good experience. When I got back to DC, I was unhappy to be back in the US, but at the same time happy I made it back safe. I woke up the next morning with traveler's diarrhea. I don't know what I did wrong in Africa, but I did something. I was sick for 3 days. Just number twoing every hour. I had to go to the hospital. I don't know where I got sick from, so let's not play the blame game on none of the countries, because I do feel like everywhere that I went in Africa was clean and sanitized to their standards. But if you go overseas, you can't help it if your body is just not used to the air, the water, or the food, or whatever. So that's it for this video, and thank you guys for listening.